Hello there! Come in, 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 come in! Once again, it is time for a wee bit of WrestleMash. I'm Paul, and it's been a busy week. It's always a busy week. So let's get into it, but first let me tell you about this podcast. WrestleMash is one of the 3 podcast parts which, when formed together, make the mega powers that is the Midweek Mashed Tattie Sportscast. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and on all audio streaming platforms. Liking what you're listening to? Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to leave us
5 stars, baby! Boom!
Thanks, son! And speaking of boom, bringing the boom are the mega powers upon this podcast. It's the Wish Viking himself, the great workhorse that is Macho Mick, and he is a real Caymanian. Fights for the right of every man. He is a real Caymanian.
Yeah,
fight for the life. Fight for the life. Hulk Harvey, brother.
Oh, brother.
Lads, how he's doing? Recorded at first take.
Very, very well.
Actually. Good, man. Good. Harvey, how you keeping,
Harvey
man?
Maniac continues to run wild.
Yeah. That the old kidney stone mania running wild in your guts, innit, man?
Aye.
Currently, he's working hard, brothers and sisters. He's currently working the injury.
Kidney stones, no great. Worst pain ever.
No great. No great.
Would never
bad
fit
pain.
on any of yous.
Nah.
Aye.
You
just need to look in a mirror, right? Lift your t-shirt up, because obviously, I mean, you can't see your kidney, but you can imagine where it is. You need to still that fucker out, and you need to say, "Listen here, brother. What you gonna do when Harvey Mania runs wild on you?"
That's not gonna work for me, brother. You've got to put that Hulk Harvey executive power in there, man. Kidney stones are not going to work for you, brother. No, in this day and age. No chance, man. No chance. Oh dear. Well, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you from Scotland and from that lovely wee sunny isle in the Caribbean, in the Cayman Islands, and we have got loads of wrestling to talk about, as per usual. On this week's show, in fact, we're going to discuss Samoa Joe, Hangman Page the heel, and actually, for a wee change of pace, we are going to talk about some dream match pay-per-view cards with the lads. It's a jam-packed show. It's full of hot takes, shite jokes, high hopes, and an absolute guarantee, I can guarantee you this, that Macho Mick will find something to rant about with Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb smiling, so I know it's coming.
You better believe.
Ring the bell, let's do it. Let's ring that bell. Oh dear, so we'll get this news out the road quickly, lads. I have a quote here that it's not even really news, I suppose, but it's a quote from Samoa Joe. I'm going to read it out. And I think there's a lot of truth in this, and this is something that wrestling fans in general need to always remember. So this was Samoa Joe on the mentality between WWE and AEW fans. He had this to say: "I do believe that arguing between the AEW and the WWE fans is simply ridiculous. Watch pro wrestling. You don't need to dunk in this. It's just you taking your ego and something you have nothing involved with and trying to start a conflict with someone else. I mean, watch what you watch. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. You know, you have this glorified view of what sport is. You think we line up at each side and say, but the real war is us trying to entertain you people, not this ridiculousness between you all." End quote. Amen. Mm-hmm. Amen for the big guy.
Yep. That is utterly ridiculous.
Couldn't have said it any better myself, really. He's spot on.
It's like standing outside the Gaiety Theatre and shouting at folk for go to see Pinocchio because you prefer fucking, I don't know, Snow White or whatever other pantos on. You know what I mean? I mean, no offence, pro
The
wrestling.
Kings is better than this. Aye.
Like, it's sports theatre at the end of the day, so to get so butthurt over it, man, and be arguing amongst each other, it's just stupid. Like, there's always going to be a rivalry here, and there's always going to be people that think their promotion's better than your promotion or whatever, but to the degree that people go to when it's like AEW versus WWE kind of thing, it's they need.
The anger and the vitriol is just a bit much. Like, if I don't like one thing, I like the other thing. It doesn't mean that people who like the other thing are wrong. Like, it's what they like at the end of the day, and I think that's what everybody needs to remember, and everybody should just be a wee bit more full of love, lads. I mean, and that's where I come at with this, Ken. Just show a bit of love.
Yeah.
Show a bit of love. But not really news as such, but I thought it was a very important quote. So it was. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. Release-O-Mania, lads. It's running wild everywhere, it would seem, lately. Stu Grayson of the Dark Order gone from AEW. His contract expired. Contract expired, and they couldn't agree terms on an extension. Apparently, the door is open for a return should they come to an agreement in the future. But the Dark Order down one man. The Dark Order A-team tag team, no more. Obviously, it's just Evil Uno left in there.
Yep.
Thoughts, lads? A bit of weird, you know? It's not what I expected with the Dark Order. I think we're all just in this kind of love phase with them, isn't it?
I've got mixed feelings with this because as much as I think Stu Grayson's a great worker, I feel like he's arguably the weakest character in that faction.
I would probably, to an extent, he doesn't do anything wrong specifically in the ring. I think he's he's a physical freaky man.
Yep.
He is. Like, what an athlete. Yep. But probably as much as people with stuff going on, he's probably the least bankable, I think would be the right word. Like, I mean, you can see with John Silver and Alex Reynolds, they're the best tag team in the Dark Order.
Yep,
which is a high standard considering Uno and Grayson are very good. But Preston Vance is a heavyweight waiting to happen. Alan Angels is a very good junior heavyweight. Yep. Even Uno himself is a phenomenal character, like, for cutting promos and the like. So, it's as sad as it is, it's probably not that big a loss, really, is it?
Yep, it's a shame in that regard. I feel for him, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, he's sort of stood his ground. He's felt like he knew his worth, and AEW had a different valuation, and it's not worked out for this time. But he's left in good terms, seemingly. So
it seems to have been kind of pretty respectfully left at wherever it was left at. I mean, Stu Grayson will find work somewhere else. I think that's a certainty. He's not going to be short of offers. Like Impact, all the kind of big indies are all back up and open now. The Japanese promotions are there. I mean, he'll be fine, largely, I think, as far as work goes as a wrestler. Johnny Gargano's wife, Candice LeRae, has left WWE. She was obviously somebody who exclusively worked on NXT, the original NXT, and in NXT 2.0 as well. She went off on maternity leave, had her baby, and this is the end of her contract as well. Whether she's going to be back in wrestling, I don't know. They've obviously they've got their young son to look after. Like, she's just had a baby not long ago.
Yep.
So, I mean, you can see why with that one. Impact as well. A couple of releases. Jonah, your big man who was in NXT, his name totally and utterly is gone for me. He was a North American champion. Remember at the time I was saying, this guy's awesome. And Willie Mack also having left Impact Wrestling. Another good sort of heavy, big kind of Olympia guy that's much more athletic than he has any right to be. But that was just a wee kind of rundown of the news, basically, lads. Did any of you guys catch the wee kind of promo that seems to be floating about online with Roman Reigns in the ring at a house show?
No.
It was a house show. I think it was after a SmackDown. He was kind of.
Was this the thing where he broke character?
He seemed to break character and say that this might be the last time that he sees the fans where he was. Like,
Aye.
So there's kind of industry kind of rumblings that perhaps his time might not be that long in wrestling, what's left of it. Like, he's maybe thinking along the lines of, obviously, he's much more famous cousin. To get out and get into Hollywood films, which, I mean, look at the guy. Why not? Like, if ever Jason Momoa fancies a wee film off for Aquaman, there's your man right there. Like, easy peasy. He's even got a big. Doesn't even need to put the Caddy and Simone tattoos on. He's got a whole lot of them, man. Like,
I mean,
he's covered all the perfect body art for it.
He's a guy that, I mean, he's had various health problems. Most notably leukemia, I believe it was. He's had to battle that a couple of times. So I think probably him above many others would have an easier time coming to terms with the fact that pro wrestling's no easy in the body, and it's not necessarily the easiest way to make a living, especially once you've got a name for yourself.
Aye. There's going to come a time, I think, when he perhaps outgrows wrestling. Roman Reigns, he as I'll always say, WWE no for me, but I can appreciate that man is a fucking star. Like, he really is a star. So I imagine he does fine moving on from wrestling. I could totally see that. Mick, do you want to get want to get a wee bit of anger off your chest here? I'm gonna open the floor to you here.
Aye.
Time for the
Hangman Page the heel or Thunder Rosa?
I think both of them.
Dig out first.
I'll open it with a touch of the old monologue, right?
Go for it. Mick monologue, here we go.
I'm all for breaking sort of stereotypes and traditions and doing things different when it's logical and entertaining and it just works. But there are some things in pro wrestling that are kind of they're tradition and they're done thing for a reason. It's very, very difficult to have a legit babyface, especially when said babyface is a champion, call out a heel. It can be done, but there must be a storyline that leads you in that direction. There must be a good reason for it. Otherwise, your babyface looks like a tweener, or even worse, a heel.
Or an idiot.
Or just an idiot.
Aye.
And then, in the case of Hangman Page, when you take one of the biggest baby faces in modern wrestling, one of the absolute heroes of a generation, and CM Punk, if you're going to call him out, you best be prepared to turn heel. What in good gracious, for lack of better words, what are they thinking? Having Hangman, I want to know, was it Hangman's idea? Is this something Tony Khan's come up with? What is the plan here? I want to know where they're going, because to have Hangman come out, especially when Punk isn't there, because obviously Punk is a wizard with a mic, so maybe that teases something out and they can go back and forth and you don't quite know who's going to turn heel, and then eventually one of them does. That could be interesting. But when Punk's not even there and you've just got Hangman walking out and cutting a promo in an empty ring on quite possibly the biggest babyface in wrestling until he turns heel, because he will turn heel. Punk will turn heel in AEW. It's a matter of when.
Eventually,
he
yes.
will.
Aye.
He'll probably win the title as a face, but at some point in time he will go heel, and it will be amazing because he's a phenomenal heel. He's arguably a better heel than he is face, but he is quite possibly the biggest face in wrestling right now. To cut the promo that Hangman Page did, it just makes no sense whatsoever.
No sense, aye.
It made very little sense when he was challenging Lance Archer to a Texas death match for no reason, but this makes even less sense. And then to make a bad situation worse in terms of AEW and their booking at the top levels, what are they thinking with Thunder Rosa? That Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb should be a home run. But rather than having Serena Deeb set the match up by saying that she's beat everybody and she's the best, blah blah blah, so now like, Thunder Rosa, watch your back, I'm coming for you. Instead they've got Thunder Rosa cutting a fucking bit of a heel promo and challenging her. What's going on?
That's what I don't get. I mean, the Hangman stuff, right? I didn't really enjoy that promo. I thought it was a very odd promo to cut.
Yep.
But for me, they have 3 weeks now to tell me why he's behaving like that, because there was a wee caveat with Hangman, is that when he got out the ring, he looked disappointed with himself and what he had said. So is he feeling like he needs to be tough in order to be angry at a man that he respects? Like, I can appreciate waiting on Hangman, because Hangman's rewarded me a lot with long-term storytelling.
Yep.
And at certain points in the early junctures of Hangman's story, I thought, what the hell is this? Only to be amazed once it all clicked into place. So Hangman gets more respect for me in that sense. I can wait for Hangman, right? I can
Give
wait
us a
for
bit of
Punk as
leeway.
well. Aye, they get a bit of leeway, and CM Punk, as we know, phenomenal. No, he could make you hate a fucking broomstick that he's going to wrestle. Like he could give you a reason. The Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb one, that is the one that angers me the most. That is the one that really upsets me because as I've said on here many a time, I'm a huge Serena Deeb fan. I'm also a huge fan of the character she plays. This sort of entitled sort of general that.
Professor.
But she believes she is the best because she is taught the best for years while maintaining her high standard herself. So it's a great character. It's like a heelish Bret Hart in the women's division.
See what she's doing to me, it's a better version of what Kurt Angle did in the early 2000s when he was doing his challenge thing.
It's fantastic. So she wins against Hikaru Shida. Why is she no calling her shot for the champion?
Yep.
Why is the champion saying, right, well, it must be you? Like, that, you don't need that for a start. Because she's a champion. She's not challenging anybody. Why is she challenging any... Like, she's got the belt. She doesn't need to worry about... Like, I get what she obviously must think and what Tony Khan obviously must think is have a fighting champion on that. And that's fine for your mid-card titles. But not for your world fucking title, lads. But again, the promo when they both come out to cut was just so clunky and backwards. Like, the champion comes out and then calls out her challenger. What is that all about?
And then it gets...
Surely the challenger comes out and names her spot and calls out the champion. Like, she's the one going uphill, not the bloody champion.
And then it gets all awkward once Deeb comes out. The chemistry's all off once they're having that face-off.
It's like they've no spoke to one another before. Like, that was the biggest thing for me, which is disappointing on the two of them because they're both better than that.
Aye.
They're both way better than that. AEW gave their women's division a really good opportunity on Wednesday where they gave them lots of time. Lots of time to lay down stories, and it just seemed to... The women didn't do themselves any favours.
There's some wrestlers across all companies who will always work better as an underdog. Thunder Rosa, for whatever reason, is one of those. So to have her stand, and they've done it, so they've done it off the bat after she won the title with Nyla Rose, and now they're doing it again here where they're trying to have her stand tough and be the big mama jamma, cutting her promo and putting the challenge out there and stuff. Just keep her as the underdog. Even though she's the champion, she's the babyface underdog.
You can still...
You know what I mean? You want to cheer for her to beat the unsurmountable odds. Serena Deeb would play that part perfectly. She would be the master, the destroyer who is going to... Like, the psychology... You can just see the psychology of the match that they would have where Deeb is just destroying Thunder Rosa's legs and Thunder Rosa's...
Systematically picking apart body parts. Exactly. And Thunder Rosa survives her.
So,
like, beats her just by sheer guts. Like,
does them such a disservice doing it this way.
It does, mate. This should have been one of the best feuds for Thunder Rosa to have. This for me was can't miss. I don't know how they've missed.
Yep.
I mean, I've got every faith that when Double or Nothing rolls around, it'll be a tremendous match in the pay-per-view. Because they're two good in-ring workers. And if it's not, then they're letting themselves down. Because really, with the standard of the both of them, they've got it in them to have a tremendous match together. But whatever the hell, whoever okayed this backstage as the way to go needs a fucking sitting down and a talking to.
I think...
about what they're doing with two of the best female wrestlers.
Tony Khan needs to lean on guys like Danielson and Punk and really work on putting things together in a way that's going to come across better. Whether it be that you need Punk to coach some people on how to cut a promo or go about things, or whether it's just in terms of booking. Something needs to change. We're beyond the point of a rough patch because Tony Khan's busy. We're at a point now where they have got a few weeks to put some things in place so that their pay-per-view doesn't nosedive at the end of the month.
I've got to say I was disappointed with the women's stuff this week. I was disappointed with Dynamite in general, to be honest, because of that. And again, as always with Dynamite, there are some epic moments upon it, but they were just buried in amongst the drivel.
Yep. At this,
And it's a shame for the two women, by the way, just to say the headline match, the Ring of Honor women's match. The crowd were awful
aye,
for it. There's just no noise during it.
that was it.
And again, sorry, you go
Sorry,
for
I was just going to say that was it.
We're both
I
got a
know,
lot to say.
aye,
about
we're
this.
all locked up in this. That was a far better match than what you would think based on listening to how the crowd was reacting to it. They deserve a lot of praise for putting that match together. It was a cracker, and the crowd just had nothing left for them.
I've
Just
noticed
didn't
that in
seem to be
AEW
interested.
though, especially when it comes to the women's matches. Sometimes there's some brilliant women's matches, but the crowd just are not reacting like it's a brilliant.
I
Like
think
it's a brilliant match. I just don't know what it is. Is it
it maybe comes down to booking
demographics or
at times.
booking?
Aye.
I think maybe the
Where they
placement.
put
in the
it
Aye,
card
that's
as
what I
well.
mean.
Aye. Where they
I
put
think-
it in the card.
I know because it's Diona Perazzo, who's a very popular wrestler in the independent
Yep.
scene. They've thought we need to give her the kind of big treatment and put her on the main with Mercedes Martinez, but I don't think that did any of the girls a favour really there. I think maybe that should have been your opener or something like that. I think an opener that would have been better.
I think
for
what
her.
it needed was a build. It's the same thing that am I ranting about
And
these recent weeks.
that's also the problem is because they've two champs, so it's an interim problem as
Yep.
such.
They need
And that's what's done a wee bit
they
damage.
needed Martinez either cutting her own promo or having some sort of match, and then Perazzo comes out and cuts a promo on Martinez, and then that sets up a match, build a bit of buzz. No, just hey, we're going to have this match that should be a really really big deal, but it's not
it was
that big
a
a
bit
deal, but we'll make it a main
buzzless.
event. So there's that. You know what I mean? It was just a bit half-hearted.
Although on the flip side though, you get Jay Lethal versus Konosuke Takeshita,
Yes.
which had no build, but yet the crowd loved. Because by the way, that Takeshita boy is a star.
Right, just side note, I don't know if you've all seen it or no, on Elevation,
Yes.
Takeshita and Brandon Cutler, really fun match.
Oh, what man is it? It's a genius.
Really fun match.
Just Brandon Cutler bumping like an otter for
Aye.
Takeshita.
It-
Takeshita he's
really good, man.
He's good.
Fine, the two of them were in absolute fine form. It was tough.
Aye.
It was a far better match than I anticipated it being. So it was.
Aye.
Aye.
Lethal is, as you know, Lethal's a class act.
Nice, phenomenal.
He's only wrestling it's in DDT Pro he works, Takeshita. It's not like he's a New Japan guy, but sky's the limit. If New Japan aren't going to take that guy, AEW need to charm him like they're taking him out for dinner
Yep.
to get him permanently there.
Yeah.
I thought he was tremendous. I really did. I loved the lariat off the top rope, man.
The
Was
the
when
only
he hits.
sorry, man.
Go on, old man.
Murderless people.
We have so much to say this week, ladies and gentlemen.
My only
We're tripping
my only
everywhere.
negative in him is I don't love the knee. I don't love the finish.
At the high knee, aye.
I think
I like the clothesline better, I've got to say.
aye. I love the clothesline and I love the what do you call it? You know it's not the Blue Thunder Bomb, is it? It's something else. What do you call it? You know the thing he does? It's like the high lift and he spins and then drops into the sit down power bomb.
Aye. It's just basically a power bomb. I know what you're saying. No, aye.
There's a name out there for it, but I'd rather it was like Big Larry. It sets up that and that's the big finish. But nevertheless, he's got a ton of potential. Him.
He really does. He was phenomenal. I've got to say, I really enjoyed Rampage over Dynamite. Rampage was a lot more fun. I liked that they kind of tried to go a wee bit out of the box with the Eddie Kingston phone call and all that to Jericho. What do you think, Michael?
I just remembered something else along the vein of what we're talking about. Why is Jungle Boy, a babyface tag team champion, coming out to the stage to have a go at Ricky Starks, a heel, and over a title that's not even sanctioned in AEW? Somebody explain that to me.
An unsanctioned title. It's a bit of a sideways feud. Although I don't mind it because I'm looking forward to the match that those two will have. Get Ricky Starks and his character on TV as much as possible. I say, I love me a bit of Ricky Stark. Every time that guy pulls a face, it's a meme. he's got one of their faces, man.
It's another one of these
really does.
where as much like I'm sure the match will be great, but like where's the story? What's the thinking? You know what I mean?
I don't mind it as a wee placeholder, but I worry who's challenging the Jurassic Express at Double or Nothing.
Do you know what?
That's my worry. 3 weeks away. Who's their big title challengers? It surely cannot be Team Taz.
Bitterly disappointed to say that I now believe that they're just going to do a reboot, and that once the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix and Penta, once they're at 100%, they're by way, my brain stopped working. The House of Black. There we go. Once they're by with the House of Black, I think they're going to get re-injected into the mini feud with Jurassic Express, and I think they're getting the titles back. Unfortunately, I think that's what's happening.
I think that I wonder if that's what they're retrofitting to allow the House of Black to have a crack at the tag belts eventually. I don't know what the plan is. What did you think of Rey Fenix, by the way, against Dante Martin, lads?
Great match, but where's the why again?
I mean, it's a tune-up match. It's because by the way, there's a news bit as well, just to add in. Darius Martin's out again for 9 months.
Is it that? I thought it was a short-term one.
No, car crash. 9 months. Broken neck, broken eye.
Oh, God.
Neck fucked up, arm fucked up. 69 months he's
Jesus, man.
Right. He was in a very serious car crash. What a fucking shame.
That is terrible,
we just
man.
cannot catch a break. Aye. So that's Dante back to just being a
I'll
tune-up guy.
let them away with that match
basically
then.
for the upper card. I think that's why is that Ray needs a bit of reps, and obviously Dante's perfect as a dance partner. Like, you saw that in some of the spots, man. It was like watching Spider-Man versus bloody Mexican Spider-Man. It really it was incredible, man. It was unreal, the amount of jumping about.
Aye, ridiculous.
They had a Spanish fly backflip and landed next to one another.
How's that possible?
It's just like, Alf, how are you two human? That's all I could think, Liz. What the fuck? Unbelievable, man. Big cast, lads. W. Morrissey. What did we think?
Right, I'm going to shut
showing
up.
of himself.
I've been talking to him.
That's all right. You just go ahead, man. Keep going.
Sorry, Hulk Harvey. We know when you're coming in. It's you're coming in wild, brother.
No, man, it's all right,
What did you make of the big
He's
fella,
just
Harvey? Because I
soaking
think the fella formerly known as Kaz, William Morrissey's. I think you've probably seen less of him than we have. Who had the match
The big
with
guy
Wardlow.
Wardlow was against.
Oh, the big aye.
He would answer, but he was hitting some Hulk Hogan poses there, ladies and gentlemen. He was giving us the body stuff there, man.
I don't think I've seen that one. Actually, to be honest,
Did you know?
Oh, mate.
No. You know what's funny? I actually watched him walk out because he's for Impact, isn't he?
Aye.
He's Impact wrestler.
I seen him walk out
right?
and saying about Impact and that,
Right.
and I seen Wardlow in the ring.
Yep.
And then I don't know what happened. What happened that night?
To be fair, as a man with kidney, probably your kidney stones, mate.
I don't know, man. I can't mind. But
Aye.
I seen him come out, and then
I would urge you to go back and watch
So that's
that,
a big
Harvey.
guy.
Aye.
It's probably worth a watch, by the way, because I genuinely thought the big guy was pretty good. I quite enjoyed the match. He's a no nonsense, no frills kind of guy, but he gets his shit in and it looks very good.
Yep.
You can tell he's came from the WWE system though, and how he just he's not doing anything beyond what he's comfy doing, but it looks good. It looks crisp.
I
thought he looked.
He's a very, very different package to the last time I saw him wrestle.
He's looking good as
Tremendous
well.
shape.
Isn't he looking
and
good?
He's tightened everything up. Before he was a tag team wrestler, and when I say tag team wrestler, I mean he needed to be in a tag team because he couldn't have a full singles match and look good.
He was. The two of them were very limited. To be fair, they worked because of his character, didn't they originally?
Aye.
Enzo. See, the crowd were chanting, "We want Enzo," and the other half were shouting, "No, we don't."
Aye, it was mad.
His response was, did you see his response as well, where he did the wee chicken dance and went, "Fuck off" to the crowd? Absolutely brilliant.
He's a character, to say the least. He's Marmite, but I'm of the few that probably love the guy, man. I'd watch him anywhere. But
a bit of the old Enzo.
It just makes me laugh. But anyway, the match was, I was hoping for a wee bit more trouble for Wardlow. I wanted him to have to work a wee bit harder. But it was a fun match, and the post-match angle was really good, I thought.
I like that it's slowly turning you back, this angle, Mick. It seems to be kind of getting its wee hold on you here a wee bit more than it previously had.
It's like, in a vacuum, I enjoy all the pieces. I'm enjoying the ride of this kind of modern take on the Goldberg, like the unstoppable monster, but then mixing in like the kind of Batista with the evolution angle, that sort of thing.
Aye. I mean, that's what it is basically,
pretty much.
It's like an amalgamation of both put together.
It is really good, but I just wish the start date had been booked a wee bit different, so that we didn't need to prolong it quite this much. But at the same time, the fact that AEW have their pay-per-views spread out the way they do, I also do get why they tend to do things this way. They don't have a pay-per-view every month, 2 months, that they can... It's just like a very quick, here's the feud, build, big match, start again, kind of thing. They don't... everything needs to be that wee bit more spread out, or the payoff has to be just on a TV show. And obviously, when the storyline's as big as this, it has to be pay-per-view match, so...
It definitely has to be, mate. I think this is one of the double or nothing matches coming. MJF versus Wardlow. Powerbomb itself was class, I've got to say. And apparently one powerbomb was all they were giving him for him to go over, because they wanted Big... sorry, I'll keep calling Big Cass. Sorry, mate. They wanted W. Morrissey to come out it with a wee bit of respect. They didn't want... Impact didn't want their guy receiving powerbomb after powerbomb. AEW are quite happy to oblige with that. We won just one good powerbomb and game over, and that's fair enough. I'm going to quickly move us on though here, lads, because I want to get into the fun bit with us this week, man. Because I'm looking forward to the bit after the news. Right, so Scorpio Sky, obviously we've seen the kind of refurbishment of Scorpio Sky kind of going back into face. Would appear there's a wee bit of a tease towards a reformation at SCU as well, with Kaz maybe in the future. Obviously, Frankie Kazarian's his next challenger, but it was what he said, right? So he cut a promo, obviously Scorpio Sky, digging into Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti especially, again, like the overbearing blonde and all this kind of thing, passed around the back and all this. So Ty Conti went onto Twitter, and by Christ, did she choose violence?
All right.
So this was basically after the Dynamite. This was a tweet. The typical, in inverted commas, let me call her a bitch because she didn't want to fuck me. Inverted commas. Your girl better keep her eyes open. I'm not the only one that got a DM from you. And then lots of emojis with the mouth getting covered by the hand. Shit. Oops. Did she choose violence?
Bravo.
That's class.
However, the response then came from Scorpio Sky's partner, Alex Gracia, who is also a wrestler who's worked in AEW, so she is pink-haired lassie. I don't know if you'll ever noticed her in dark. And it was during the kind of pandemic era, she kind of worked a few matches for AEW. She tweeted in reply, you and your man both have a proven track record of cheating. So don't even pretend about this. I don't know if she's maybe missed a wee word here. I'm reading it verbatim. So don't even pretend about this as silly. I think she's missed a wee word there. I get what she's saying.
She's no one that round.
She's trying to say don't pretend about this. This is silly is probably how she should have tweeted. Now do your job and keep me out of your mouth, since I don't even work there. Paige Van Zandt is the one you need to be worrying about.
Interesting.
Which she's replied. So is it a work? Is there a wee bit of pew 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 pew?
I think
Shocking, that
this
is.
works in multiple levels. I think there might be a bit of everything happening here.
Is there an all worky
No,
going on there, or is that got a bit of venom to
It's
it? What do you
very,
think,
very
lads?
real. It'll smoke without fire. I've got to think this is probably a smaller issue that's been heavily leaned on to create a bit of stink.
Aye.
Very interesting though.
I get piqued your interest there, lads. I mean, we're talking about it.
I have to say, I commend Ty and Sammy for really, really running with it. Like, they were in a position where they had to turn heel, and they went, okay,
Fool.
let's be having
You want heel? We will show you heel.
They have run
And
with
they
it.
have went uber heel. Ty is a natural heel,
Yeah.
and I would have never known that unless she turned heel, because she's always been. I really quite like Ty Conti, the face wrestler. I love the Anna Jay partnership, but sweet Jesus, is she a good heel? And if that tweet is heelishness or whether that's actual truth, by God, she's we're all talking.
I'll tell you what, right?
We're all
See if you go
talking.
back to an early episode of WrestleMash, I don't know what episode it'll be, you'd have to do some digging. We spoke about a lack of really good heels in general across women's wrestling, but specifically in AEW. We spoke about how that was a big problem because Britt Baker needs at some point to go face to keep things fresh, but they don't have anybody that can take over in terms of being the top heel. Ty Conti is damn good in the ring, and I think she gets over better as a heel. She's got so much more heat in her, rather than her being a babyface. She could find herself getting shoved up that's the wrong type of word. She could find herself getting a push up the card very soon once this regrettable angle is by way.
Absolutely agree, lads. Aye, I've got to say it's
She's got more about
it's
her
got
as a
potential.
heel.
She
Aye, she's
definitely
much more
does.
interesting as a
Aye, I
heel.
don't know what the fact that she's a gorgeous lassie, blonde lassie. Like it definitely helps her as a heel. Like the way she looks, like I mean, she's a perfect heel in that sense. She looks like a WWE diva, but she's also legit in that she's a bloody judoka. It's true.
judo.
Aye, she does. Aye.
Judo.
Aye, Olympic level judoka. Like I'm all for it, man. God knows where this goes, but I think probably the right decision as far as Scorpio goes, getting this guy back into being a worker and a fighting champ. I was glad to see this, lads.
What do you think this means for the ATT thing? Because it kind of seems like that's starting to fall away a bit.
For a few weeks now, they've started to hint with Ethan Page kind of looking a bit miffed at things Scorpio says in promos. Even when they were heel, there was signs there. But now that Scorpio's starting to slightly turn and he's telling Dan Lambert, leave that second belt where it's meant to be in the ATT headquarters and don't bring it with you. And saying the things like, I want to be a fighting champ. This isn't how we're doing it now.
Yep.
We're not doing this. Keep a hold of the belt nonsense. I think the time's now kind of getting ripe for Ethan Page to turn on Scorpio and Frankie to reunite with. I would love to see SCU again. I say the proper SCU. That's harsh in Christopher Daniels, but Christopher Daniels is too old for it now. Effectively, in his 50s. Like, harsh to say, and by Christ, can he still work? But SCU, the tag team with Kazarian and Scorpio, give me that again. That's a great team to be reunited again, and I think that would be. There's money in that. Absolutely,
Kazarian needs it as well because he's really, really good, but he doesn't work as well as a singles guy.
I think he's a better tag wrestler. Aye, and he's a great singles wrestler. I think he suits being a teammate of somebody.
I agreed.
I think he suits that more. So it's probably a good move forward for the two guys, or the three of them potentially. Ethan Page, I think could be the next TNT champion eventually one day. I've got a lot of love for that boy as well. Like, I think there's a tremendous pro wrestler in that guy. Like,
he needs the training wheels to cut off so that we can see what he's actually under.
Aye, it's about time. It's about time you let him kind of go as his own main character. Dan Lambert's great and all that, but Ethan Page himself can. He's as good a promo guy as anybody. Like, intense in the microphone. I love that. About the guy. But I'll tell you what, we will move on for the news, lads. And you know what we're going to bring back this week out of nowhere? Paul's Fantasy Booking! From out of nowhere, like an RKO on a backflip. It's back! Lads, I had a conversation off air with yous, and I asked you guys, if you could build a dream pay-per-view card, what matches would you have on it? And I said, pick 5 for quickness, but you know what? Pick 6 or 7. Who gives a fuck? We're here. Let's do it. Let's go nuts, because I know for a fact there's no way you've just wrote 5 matches on your wee cards here. I can tell Mick's wrote 20. I can tell Harvey's wrote at least 15. So Mick, pick your 7 best. Harvey the same. I'll tell you what, match 1 for each of you. That's what I'll do. What do you want to do, Harvey?
No, I literally, I had to cut everything down and I only did 5.
Oh, you see, you've got... Right, so you've got 5, I know. But if you want to add a bonus one,
I had,
go nuts, man.
find this out there, I had a big ass list and I had multiple variations of matches and I have deleted everything and narrowed it down to the 5 because you asked for 5. But
That's what I done.
see, if we go,
I'm
through
so
5,
sorry.
if we go through 5 for Oyas,
Yeah.
we could probably just spitball a few bonus matches.
Aye. Cool, man. I'm cool with that. So, who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? Which one of the mega powers?
Let Hollywood have a
I'll go
crack.
first.
Hulk Harvey, brother, let me hear you.
Aye. Mine's have went well, fantasy, by the way. Anyway,
On Harvey Mania, what are we
I'd be
seeing?
my
disappointed.
first one, I wanted a TLC.
So we're starting big with a TLC. Hells
popping.
yeah. Who is in said TLC?
Obviously, the Hardy Boys,
Oh,
course.
right, okay.
the Lucha Brothers, and the Usos.
Ooh,
Oh!
not the direction I thought you were going, but I'm into it.
That's no bad.
A 3-way.
3-way TLC, aye. Aye. I mean, the
that's
Usos
no
have
bad.
recently started doing that piss poor take on the 3D, so aye, they can be the Dudleys to the...
That's fucking criminal, by the way. You can't have them doing the 3D.
Nope.
Did they
Terrible.
not do the 3D to the Dudleys at one point, actually?
They probably did.
The one
by
that
the
did
way,
it, I
aye.
think so.
I hope they didn't, but I mean, it's WWE, so...
Ah, sacrilege. Nobody does
Let's
the
keep it
3D.
positive.
But what a first shout, man. Michael Allen.
Well,
how are you going to live
It's
up to
funny
that?
that you're opening your card with a tag match. So I will see your TLC and I will raise you a match for all the marbles. The Young Bucks versus the Briscoes versus FTR, and I want it for the AEW, Ring of Honor, AAA and Impact titles. Boom, mic drop.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So you guys, I love how you guys have went with tag team banger to start
Oh, yes.
off, man. Epic. Right, so lads, first match I put on, and this is a bit left field. You can tell that I like my NXT takeovers here. 6-man ladder match.
Okay.
Now I've went cross promotion in every way possible here. Entrance: Darby Allin, Taiji Ishimori of New Japan, Ricochet, Braun Breaker,
Unbreaker.
Ray Phoenix, and W. Morrissey as the base for everybody to bounce off of. There you go, man.
Morrissey
And
as
I've
the
got to
human
say
ladder.
that is totally... Aye, as the human ladder for everybody to form a base off of for the mad shit. And that is totally ripping off the NXT North American title match in which Adam Cole, I believe it was, that won, which was a ladder match. That was a 6-way. And that was high flyer, big guy's a base. I'm sure it was that Lars guy. You know the mad mental one, the creepy one.
Creepy one?
Was it Lars Sullivan? You called him, wasn't it?
Aye.
Sure, he was in it. Aye. The big creepy bam. Anyway, we'll move on for talk about him. Ugh. Right. Match 2, Harvey Smith. Hit
Just
me
gotta
up.
be my sake. Oh man, see this. I wanted to put a women's match in there.
Right,
I've
okay.
got 2 women's matches, so I've went a bit. I don't know. Do Lally? I don't know. So I've got
alright.
Sasha
Lali's
Banks, Sasha Banks and Naomi, Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa.
Oh,
So Mercedes and
okay.
Thunder a tag against Sasha Banks and Naomi.
Right. Not a bad match, man. Not a bad match at all, aye. Aye, that is very, very good. I would love to see Thunder Rosa and Sasha Banks square off, man. I'm all right with that. I don't mind that. There's a bit of fun in that there. Michael Allen,
Okay.
hit me up with your second one.
So
Knock me off my feet.
I have
here.
started hard and I'm going to continue that theme. I want, after the tag match, I want Will Ospreay, backed by his United Empire members Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan, coming out. I want Ospreay cutting a promo on Blackpool Combat Club. And then I want them to hit the ring hard, and then I want a crazy trios match. 15-minute sprint. Blackpool
Yes.
Combat Club beats the utter shite out of United Empire, but all the while, just like Will Ospreay doing all the hits, Jeff Cobb doing all the hits, having a great match.
I mean, you're saying dream match, but there's an actual chance that
that
might
could.
happen
Aye,
in June.
it could.
Like, I mean, it's very real. See, that's a sellout, by the way. It's a sellout, just to chuck in a wee bit of bonus news there. Sellout for the venue as well. That's not even that unrealistic when you think about it. God, I love wrestling now. I love wrestling right now. Right. Match 2 for me, and I was more simple this time. Young Bucks versus the Usos in a tag match.
Right, okay.
Give them 20 minutes, let them have fun. False finish champions like the Usos are the best ever. They're probably one of the best ever, kicking out of the depths of a 3 count, like 2 and 999/99. Like, the Usos are brilliant at that, man. False finishes. The Bucks, obviously, you couldn't find a bad Bucks match as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Anybody that says they're shite, steaming, absolutely steaming. Hulk Harvey, match 3 for you, my man.
I'll stick with the women.
Okay.
So it's another tag team.
Right, okay.
So I'm going to tag Asuka and did I say that right? I can't know.
Asuka. I know. You're reading it how it
Asuka.
looks in paper.
Aye.
It's all right.
Asuka
Asuka.
and Ruby Soho versus Rhea Ripley and Chris Statlander.
Oh, that's a powerful team there, is it? No, Rhea Ripley and Chris Statlander. That is 2 big, strong girls, man.
Okay.
I'm all right with that. How do you feel about that, Mick?
I'm into it.
Gears a bit of that. Just for Rhea Ripley's entrance, man. That's one of my favourite entrance tunes. Oh my god. Oh, the metal, man. Heavy metal.
Aye, that's a good. I don't love that she I've said it before, I think. I don't love that she kind of rips off Batista a wee bit with emotions and
with
that.
the foot stomp and the fire.
Outside of that, I'm a fan of her. I must say, she's one of the few in WWE that can proper go, or well, that seem to find a way of properly going hard in a match, even though they're in WWE, I should say. There are those that are very much subdued.
I know you. Aye, very true. But actually, Rhea Ripley's tremendous. Absolutely good shout again, Harvey, mate. Michael Allen, Macho
Okay,
Man,
so for
workhorse.
match number 3
What's
on my
Viking?
fantasy card, I chose the women's match. And I, again, chose to go
right.
hard in the paint. I want a mammoth match. I think I went for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did indeed, yep.
8.
An 8-way singles match.
For God's
I want
sake.
Mercedes Martinez versus Diona Perazzo versus Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa versus Mickey James versus Jordan Grace versus Jade Cargill versus Serena Deeb.
Jesus
And I've got a
Christ.
stipulation for it. All the
Right.
belts that the ladies have on them at the time, which should be most of the major belts,
Pretty much
they
all.
are all on the line. However, the only person that loses a belt is the person that gets pinned or submitted. So you don't know what belt for what promotion is going where, and it would be amazing.
Oh, right. So if you're pinned, you're losing your belt effectively.
So
and
any
that's-
person
right,
in that
okay.
match can win any of the belts, but they can only win one belt.
Right, I see. Right, okay. Aye, that's aye.
Which
Wee
one you
bit.
want?
Wee bit of sexy booking in there for Mac there. Wee bit of
Wee bit of all
of
finesse.
swag. I'm into that. A wee bit of the old finesse. There's a bit of finesse there. Well, I went for a triple threat lads, for match 3. Cody Rhodes versus Tetsuya Naito versus Kenny Omega. Characters, wrestlers, drama.
Interesting.
Just
That's
drama.
quite a kind of pure
Two
pro
guys.
wrestling match.
Two guys who love their drama in Omega and Rhodes, and one fucking hell of a character in Naito, being as arrogant as possible all the way through and just doing the stuff, man. Doing the stuff. Hulk Harvey, brother. It's like the intro again. That
Here's
is what we
where
match 4.
this one gets a bit whoo, because
Right, we're going mental here. We're going mental.
this is a false count anywhere.
Okay, no.
Mayhem. It's
Right.
going to be House of Black
Harvey Mania. Oh,
versus Blackpool Combat Club
all right.
versus
What?
versus FTR plus
Oof.
FTR and Eddie Kingston
Oof.
versus House of Torture for NGPW. Sorry.
NJPW.
Aye.
Bloody hell. I literally need to Google who is in the House of Torture, by the way.
Sho Tanaka. Sho Tanaka, Yuri Takahashi,
Oh, it's Takahashi's
Evil.
mob. Right, aye.
Right, I'm
And
way you knew.
Dick
Aye.
Togo.
Aye, right, okay, cool. Aye, no, good shout, by
A
the
couple of them
way.
were in Ring
Aye.
of Honor for a bit
That would be interesting.
Aye, they're just a new stable as well, aren't they, of course?
last year.
They're not even... Aye, that's right, God. Aye, hey, good shout, man. You had me scrambling for the Google there, which is... It's not a usual thing for me in WrestleMash, I've got to say. Usually I'm down with it, but caught me in my heels there, mate. On my heels sitting. Right, match 4. I don't even need to explain why. Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. Just give me that. Half an hour.
There
Let
you
them
go.
kick the shit out of one another.
Cool. Isn't it?
Mic drop. Right, okay. I took
You
your
skipped
turn
down.
there,
It's
sorry.
all right,
I
look at it.
realised I have
You got
fucked
excited.
the order. I get too excited about it. And I dropped the order. Right, you go actually
Right,
for
so
your
for
turn.
my 4th match, because my first 3 matches are just going to be 100 mile an hour, absolutely mental. Although, to be fair, the women's match would probably be relatively well paced. For my 4th match, I wanted something that allowed everybody to just calm back down a wee bit, but still have a good time. So, just because it would be amazing, I've gone triple threat: Samoa Joe, Miro, Wardlow.
That is meaty.
Wee bit
Meaty.
slower, but with Samoa Joe and Wardlow being as athletic as they are, you're going to get a mix of sort of move sets, and then Miro can mix it up with anybody, man. So I don't doubt that would be amazing.
I miss Miro so much. I really miss Miro.
Mm-hmm.
He's the man. I miss him. We need him back. I hope he's the Joker in the Owen Hart tournament, by the way. I noticed there's a Joker in each.
I did not
bracket.
know I've done that. Okay.
Aye. Samoa Joe's potential match is a Joker card, so don't know who it's going to be. Hope it's Miro. Really hope it's Miro.
Interesting.
I'm starting to expect it to be Miro, so it's going to disappoint me when it's fucking Fuego del Sol. Fuego coming out swinging the arm about.
Fuego. Woo!
Oh, 2'5" him. That daft wee cape on. I love Fuego too, but that's pure Duncan and Fuego, man. Right, I obviously fucked it and took my turn. So we're back Rooney Hulk Harvey for match 5.
Match 5. I don't know if I want to say. I think we've got to go cage match for this one.
What?
But so it's got to be Darby Allin and Sting, along with CM Punk. They're gonna square off against RK Bro and Drew McIntyre.
Oh,
Random as fuck, but I like it.
fuck aye. Aye, there's going to be enough action in there, man.
I tell you, I went proper fun into it.
Aye, you just went for it, man. The kidney stones are talking, man. They're telling you great booking advice.
I love how
They're giving you some
I love
shout,
how
man.
like Harvey's went utter mental with it, just going with great wrestlers and mashing them into great matches. I've went relatively sensible, having fantasy matches, but that make sense, and I'm trying to book a card. And then, Paul, you've just went utter fantasy.
I've just went with Kemba would be cool. You know what would be really cool? I mean, I've got a match 5 to go, and I'm rethinking it as I'm looking at it. But what is your match 5 while I rejig this in my mind?
Just when you thought I couldn't top what I've already got for my 5th match, my main event, I've went Okada versus Hangman Page versus CM Punk versus a shock entrant, the returning Kenny Omega.
Oh yes. Ooh. No, that would be a 4.5 man. Jeez,
potentially multiple belts in the line.
Lariat's going on in there.
Depending, I don't know, but aye, just for the sake of that match. I don't know if we need a title on the line with that one.
Hangman hitting a Rainmaker and CM Punk. Well, no, I've said that fucking line. Oh my god.
Okada didn't say the ring going, hold on a minute.
Hey, that's mine. Flips over the rope and buckshot at bloody CM Punk. I mean, we'll book it, so I mean, why not? Prack! And except he says it in Japanese, obviously.
Oh, be good.
Jesus Christ. Prack. Still my move. That's just not on. Oh dear. Right, well. I can't get in that. Okada shouting prick at somebody to tap his lungs. It's just impossible.
I'm fighting the urge to do the sushi walk guy voice. South Park.
Oh god, aye.
South Park.
Come back to South Park again. Oh dear. Can't it be? That is a classic episode of South Park.
I'm going to do it. We'll probably need to cut it, but I'm going to do it. Hagaman!
Oh.
Fuck are you?
Oh man.
I mean, we've enjoyed it, but that'll never hear the light of day. Oh, man. Brilliant. Oh, good stuff, right. So match 5 for me, lads. Match 5 for me. I don't know how to top anything. I'm looking at this and I've got a couple written down here, man, but I want to change them now. I'm just gonna simply say Roman Reigns versus CM Punk and just let the crowd go nuts. Just let the crowd stand for 10 minutes and cheer both of their names out. Because that's what would happen. It would be like The Rock versus Hogan, Omega versus Danielson and Arthur Ashe. Like, the crowd would be shouting, "This is awesome," before they even walked up.
I've got to say, I'm not a particularly big fan of Roman Reigns. Primarily because of how he was booked for a long time in WWE. I just gave up. But that would be...
I think that's the biggest problem folk have with him.
That would be phenomenal.
Through no fault of his own, Michael doesn't like him.
I try not to see that in him. Like, some of the booking decisions round about him have harmed just how good he is. Like, if they booked him properly, we would be talking about him in the same vein we talked about The Rock. Like, that's what's really hurt Roman is how they mismanaged him.
If Roman, here's a what's the thing you like to say? Controversial opinion thing. What's the hot take? That's the phrase.
Hot take. This is WrestleMash. God damn it! God damn it!
If Roman Reigns had a half of the charisma of The Rock and could cut a promo half as good as The Rock, he would be a better wrestler.
He would be gone from WWE. As well. Like, he wouldn't be in WWE long. That's why The Rock was out of there, right in the prime of his kind of wrestling career age. Like, when you think about it, he wasn't in the game long. Oh, Dwayne Johnson. He hit his height and then away he fucked off into superstardom, leaving WWE behind. Like, whereas Roman Reigns, obviously, is going to sit into mid to late 30s and he's still not quite broke out.
The thing
he seems to be going the John Cena way. Like, he's going to hit in his 40s maybe before he gets out.
The thing with The Rock is he's a very... don't want to say career driven, but he's
driven's the right word.
what's
He's
the word
driven,
for it?
man.
He's
Oh,
driven.
definitely driven, Harvey.
He's
Aye.
driven. I know he's driven, but no career driven as such. He just wants to get to the top. I see. I've watched a couple of interviews with him and that, man. And the thing with him is he knew that if he stayed WWE, he wasn't going to be anything more than a WWE superstar. Like, so he just got out of there as quick as he could. He was like, "Psh, later, you're going to hold me back from getting to where I want to be." So, you know what I mean? He had that drive, that desire to go further than WWE.
Oh, I mean, he could be president one day, that guy. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Like, nothing stops The Rock. Really, nothing stops the guy.
He probably will run for president one day.
Side note, did you see the wee wink to the curtain in that Young Rock show, by the way? You know how there's that kind of show about The Rock as a young guy, like a young boy and all that? Mm-hmm. There was a toddler shouting, "Acknowledge me" at Young Rock. and then it comes up with statistics. Joe Anawahi, Roman Reigns. Because obviously as an adult, that's his catchphrase. But in the show, it's this wee boy shouting, "Acknowledge me," and pointing the finger at him.
That's funny.
Totally worth a look, by the way. It's class. I appreciated that. Flashes up multiple WWE champion, tag champions, and so forth. Oh, it's good stuff. Oh, dear lads, I'll tell you, we've ran right to the end of this podcast as per usual, man. Cards were crazy. I've got to say, that was a lot of fun, man. That was absolute fantasy booking nonsense, but the best kind of nonsense, man. We laughed, we didn't cry, we smiled. Can't beat it, man. Can't beat it. So I think will we get ourselves out here and remind the listeners, what can they do if they want to know more about this podcast? What can they do, lads?
They can put their hand to their ear and they can listen for that. He is a real K-man. And that just, it's going to build and it's going to get closer and closer, and then they can just follow everybody marching down the street.
Harvey Mania, brother! But also, there is all the social media. There is the midweekmashtattie.com. There is podcasts all the sport. I mean, yesterday, did you listen to Combat Spuds? Did you know? Why did you know? Get listening to it now, because you should, because it's a good one. And obviously, following this, we've got Mix and Mash, man. So, as always, thanks for tuning in, guys and gals, and whatever you identify yourself as. We are out of here. Bye-bye, driver.
See you bye there, son. Bye-bye. I'll be an alien.
He's a real... Oh, fuck that. Nah, cut that back. Right. Fucking knew I was going to tell you I was going to do it. Tell you I was going to do it. Right. Breathe. Go again.